Listen, this last time I want to get to, you know, obviously with, one thing I know about American culture is that we're very, we have a large influence, especially like we was on a live stream and people in Africa was talking about, yeah, man, I watch a show over there. We're very big on hip hop. We see I got the movies and stuff like that. So with that being said, there was a number that I seen and I'm not Caribbean, but I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently the number of weddings and marriages are in a decline in Jamaican and other Caribbean cultures, and they contributed a lot to the Western influence, like the movies, the TVs, the visits when they come here. So they're saying there's a decrease in marriages in the Caribbeans. What do y'all think is some of the reasons why people are not valuing marriage like that anymore in the Caribbeans?
This is a basic elementary school formula. Like, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? I think, yeah, I mean, just, and it's not just, to say that women shouldn't be doing this and women shouldn't be doing that. But I think the bar has been set so low, and that stems from, women really not standing and saying, this is what I want. It's like, oh yeah, you could just come and live with me. So yeah, why would anybody want to get married when I could just live with you? I don't have to commit to you.
It's so true. A lot of
Yeah.
I would talk from experience.
I can live with 6 of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people from Guyana that I would think everybody living home first before getting married. They're not getting married. Hardly people getting married. Rare. Only people getting married is the East Indian people. They would marry out the daughter at a very young age. The East Indians don't play, and the Muslims back home, they don't play that culture. They don't play with that. But Black people and so back home, everybody's live home. People just get babies out of wedlock or whatever, and that's it. People hardly believe in marriages because they think being married don't last long.
Well, I could take it back to something that my mom told me years ago, and this is just proof that racism is prevalent regardless of. So you would look at Guyana for perfect example, and the narrative that they push out, you would believe the entire country is mostly Indian, right? But there's a lot of Black people there. So they pushed it. So this narrative is being pushed globally that Black people are not worth as much as other races, whether it's white, Indian. And so my mom, she told me, she said the Black men in Guyana were saying that they don't want to marry the Black women.
Yeah,
they want to marry the Amerindians. Or the Amerindian. Yeah, and then the Black women don't cook. So it's just, it's just...
They saying this in Guyana?
They're saying this in Guyana. Like, you would be surprised that as Black people, we would go to Guyana and face racism.
Yeah, it's
tough. And, and there are a few platforms that I watch them very closely, and I'm like, wow, they don't push any content from Black people, coming out of Guyana or any of the Caribbean nations, and it's sad. So so racism doesn't only exist here. It exists in the Caribbean too, but just between different ethnic groups.
Yeah,
but Black people are always the common denominator.
Right.
we don't back down.
Yeah.
So why do y'all think marriage is declining in the Caribbeans?
Truthfully, I don't know why. It's like, because I don't see what else do y'all have to do except not get married. Like, why? It's not like you don't have to throw a whole $1 million wedding. The church is down the block from your crib. You can walk there. Why are we?
They getting married, but they just getting divorced too. They used to stay married.
Yeah. But that can be said for any group of people on this earth.
I was gonna say like it's more.
Most marriages, not most, 50% of marriages end in divorce. And of that 50% of divorced people, 70% of the women don't want to get married again, while that number is only 30% for the men. So that gives you something to think about as to why people aren't getting married.
So it's the women that don't want to get married. Like.
I mean, as a woman, when you get married...
Don't settle. Don't say as a woman, because I could speak from a friend experience. She's like my sister. She says she got married in January. She got divorced in March because of the guy. The guy was a whole pastor's son, and he used to sleep with her models behind her back.
That's what I'm saying. As a woman, it's going into a marriage, it's a lot of stuff
Yeah,
that you just got to
he
take on the
failed
bunny.
her. He
And I
failed
don't know
her.
if people want to do that anymore.
And she found out it was heartbreaking, and that discouraged her from getting married again.
But I think it is the women that's changing the narrative, because
Mhm.
growing up, when women wanted to get married, there was more marriages because women would put that pressure on you, and you had to go. You either had to step up to the plate and marry her, or she was gonna go. Now they don't even want to get married, so it's like
I was just
It's
about to say that.
okay.
Yeah.
that's why it's less marriages now, because
I
women start putting that pressure.
I don't think it's that women don't want to get married. I think somehow y'all have managed to brainwash women
Who's
into
y'all?
thinking men.
Man.
So that's okay. So let me not. So okay, let me. I'm sorry. So he's like, who's y'all? No, but I think the narrative has somehow changed,
Mhm.
and I don't know where it came from that women feel like they have to compete for a man's affection. So I feel like men are sitting back, like, yeah, let me see what you're gonna do for this and that, and
Like
yeah,
for
and
nothing.
and they'll keep that going for as long
Y'all
as
compete?
as you let them keep. I don't compete. But what I'm saying
As
is
a-
that that's from what I can see.
If every woman's saying they don't compete, where's where's the competition? Like, I don't get it. Every woman's, I'm
Everyone's
not competing.
saying
I'm
she
not
doesn't
competing.
compete.
Yeah.
How are you guys getting the man?
Now, I tell you this, and when I hear
Oh,
women
boy.
say this, 'cause I hear women say this, I'm not competing, but
They be
other
competing.
ethnic groups of women are competing, and the statistics are
Hell.
showing that they
Mhm.
are competing. Like, so it's like, yes, you can sit at home and do a Sierra's prayer and wait for that right magical man to come to your doorstep,
I don't
or
know I
you
could
go
do
out
that.
and get the quality of
Other
man that you
other
want.
ethnic
Other-
groups are competing in what's for men in that
For
sense.
Okay.
the quality of men that they want for their lives, they are competing for that man. They're
Oh,
showing
Yeah,
why they are the
but
best.
other cultures of women, they don't have to go through. I'm sorry, but they don't have to go through what black women have to go through.
That's a lie.
No, it's not. There's
What?
not a there. You cannot find 10. How do I say this? I don't want to say Arab, and that's wrong, but you can't find 10 Arab women that's gonna willingly be married to a broke man for her whole life. That's
But-
just period point blank.
But then,
Like-
see, again,
All right.
But that's expected of black women. We're supposed to be
No,
okay
no.
with him just being able to pay the light bill for 50 years.
No.
What?
No,
Come on, bro.
Impossible.
But think about this. I don't want the broke black men, which is understandable.
Somebody do. It's just
Wait,
not
which is
me.
understandable. Most women don't want the broke black men, right? So that means a bulk of the women want the men that's making money, right? So if a bulk of y'all want these small amount of men, y'all gonna have to compete for the men.
Yeah, but I'm saying some women, they're not gonna do that. Like they're just gonna.
So
be,
you gonna be alone, or you gonna have to date the broke
no,
nigga. That's it.
no. You're
You
gonna
going
as a woman.
awfully
There's
hard
one
for somebody
thing.
who just said who's
As-
y'all.
Exactly. As a woman,
But y'all did that to
as a
yourselves,
woman,
though.
We
As a
just
woman-
wanted
Y'all did that to
yourselves.
appointed
If y'all
representative.
As
put
a
these men
woman.
on a pedestal, we ain't put them on the pedestal.
yes,
Y'all
I do.
did that.
Can,
What?
Can,
Nah,
can we spend a block on the average man? Because a lot of these dudes working in bodegas, they still got wives at home, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let me-
Let him finish. Let him finish.
please,
Let him finish.
Because again, he's saying y'all putting these men on a pedestal.
Mhm.
They working at a bodega. And look,
Of
they
course.
don't got one wife, they got multiple wives. And those wives are still working in the bodega with them. They are cooking, they're cleaning, they're watching the kids. They're not complaining. They may be complaining, I'm not sure, but they're there.
They there.
They're there.
Yeah.
So when you guys see a man, if y'all saw a black man in the store trying to talk, you a bum ass nigga. You get what I'm saying?
But the
He
bodega
know-
guy make money
The
for
bodega
sure.
guy owns the bodega.
Oh, exactly.
No,
He
no, that's
owns
no,
that.
no. Hold
I'm
on.
confused.
That's wrong. That's what you think because it's 5 of them in here. But they also live in a crib with 5 other relatives.
That's perfectly fine. That's their culture.
But-
It's American
Oh my
culture that you're not
God.
supposed to live with your family.
You
that
see,
you're not
you
supposed
see
to live
this.
with your
It's not
extended
all right for
family.
me, but it's all right for him. But his wife is still standing with him.
Because
But
they
that's
got
not-
married at a young age. Some of them
Oh
just
my
get married
God,
young.
excuse
That's
me.
their
They
culture.
said
That's their
the
culture. Yeah,
The
that's their
grandma
culture.
lived with her grandma.
Grandma,
So
Exactly.
auntie, little baby, cousin.
Okay,
Yeah.
look, but you guys are expecting
So
listen to
the
me.
epilogue from
I
a
tell you,
from
me
a
know
man.
about them, but I as a person, as a builder, I like grow with you. You ain't gotta get $1 million. I as a
It
builder.
don't sound like you
Me,
saying the
I
niggas
didn't
broke.
send me.
Nah,
Since
you know
girl
you-
settle, right?
Yeah.
I as a builder, I would grow with you. But you have to have a certain amount of money for me for manage. Oh, American bills, light bill, phone bill, this bill. I got back pad. I gotta get liners. I gotta get food. you gotta help me do something.
And
I
it's not
just
that.
I just want to know
odd.
what they doing so much different from us. Because even if y'all talking about cheating, every other man does that. If y'all talking about what are y'all just talking about? Fine, I'm just adding things because I want to know what are the things that makes them so special. And I don't want to sound like this
We don't
ain't
know.
this
I don't know. I've only dated black women. So I'm not gonna date anybody.
They're providers.
They're provided, but y'all don't know that when they come here as immigrants, they get loans off the rip.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all don't put that into perspective, right? And do y'all also know that black men are the biggest fathers in out of all ethnic groups?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking at these same dudes, they might be there, but that don't mean they there.
That's true.
Well, me
That's
I'm a black man.
And y'all like using stats. I'm just saying.
That's true. I'm just saying. Black women most definitely have to jump through more hoops for the same thing that other women of other cultures don't have to do.
And I think
That
that's
is my
wrong.
point.
I think that's
you wouldn't
wrong.
know you're not a
You
black
won't know
woman.
you're
You're
not
not the
the
one who has to jump through the
black
hoops.
woman's
What hoops I gotta jump through?
We have to be okay with the fact that he might have.
This going back to the first question when you asked about the black woman, like dating Caribbean men, why you wouldn't date them. You have to deal with all these things. Like you got to worry about if he have a baby on the side, if he dealing with this and that.
You got to do that with Brad and Chad too.
Every other culture does the same shit. But they're not as emboldened.
Exactly.
That's exactly
No,
what I'm trying to
let
say.
me tell you,
That's
I
exactly
know
what
some
I'm trying to say.
Caribbean men
Can I tell y'all
who
why?
come home on Friday and be like, "I'll see you Monday when I get home from
Can
work."
I please tell you why?
And they not going to work.
Because their women are not saying the shit on media like you guys are.
It's even worse. She's saying it's even worse. She's saying it to all the
Their
other
women
wives.
are not sitting here throwing them under the fucking ground like y'all, like women.
You
the
see
women
it?
in our
You know
group. Listen, we don't see it.
You
Because
see it?
listen, these motherfuckers be fucking their mothers and sisters and having kids with them. And we ain't fucking talking about that. They mother ain't on the fucking net. Yeah, my son just fucked me. No, they ain't saying that shit. But yet y'all out here worried about, and yes, it's wrong, but y'all putting them on a pedestal they don't belong on. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They are fucking everybody too. They are.
We can have
But they're not so bold-faced with it. It's not about that.
Their women are not so
bold-faced with it.
They're not talking about it. Come on, these niggas, it's fucking their neighbors.
You date.
What are you
They
talking about?
do come on TikTok
If
and
it's
tell all
Hispanic,
their
it's
business
that,
just
yeah.
like that.
Not really.
But
No.
The thing is, I promise you, if we had a panel of all Hispanic women or all Indian women or all Asian women, they would have the same exact stories I have. And I think sometimes we get too caught up in, if he's paying my bills, it's okay if he cheat. You know what I mean? As long as he pay, because that's the first thing. And I'm not saying that women shouldn't focus on it, but there's other things to a man that I think that y'all should prioritize instead of, can he pay all of my goddamn bills and I don't have to do anything?
But the
Like,
average woman doesn't want a man to pay
Yeah.
every single one of her bills. We just don't want to feel like we got to do our whole lives by ourselves and then come home and still have to do your life too.
Because you
That's the difference.
If he paid everything for you, you can't do nothing. You gotta be inside.
Exactly.
You want to take control.
And then I feel like
nobody take control
y'all
of my life.
y'all want a traditional woman. Y'all don't want to be traditional. Y'all want me to sit at home, cook, clean, raise all the kids, and go to work. It's not happening.
Real men
Straight
don't
like
want that. Real men know that we got to help our women.
Period.
Real men know that.
I like the statement. You're singing good.
yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's a little bit hard to judge, especially in American culture when inflation is so ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean? And you know, I always say this again, in New York, making $100K is the equivalent of making $36,000. Like, that ain't help. That ain't supporting no family. So now, I'm thinking 100K is good. Like, you know what I'm saying? No, I got to make 200K just to support like my wife and one kid, maybe. Like, you get what I'm saying? So it is, you know, society is different. Because when we talk about our grandfathers, that nigga was working in a factory and he was able to support 8 families off his one paycheck. It's different. Like, you get what I'm saying? Now you cannot do that. Like, you know what I mean? So I think the guys that, you know, the women are put on a pedestal, the 10% of guys that are the high earners, they're getting women left and right. And those women know the type of the caliber of man they are, and they're doing whatever they can to secure that man. When you're sitting back and saying, well, LeBron James, he's supposed to know who the fuck I am, and I ain't supposed to do nothing. No, Savannah, she worked hard to get LeBron, even though it was high school.
And keep him.
Like, you know what I mean?
So high school.
Yeah, but she still worked hard.
Yeah.
She knew who he was gonna be. Like, you know what I'm saying?
know who he was in high school.
Yeah, she knew who he was. Like,
You
you know
don't
what I
even know
mean?
what LeBron did in the back end. That's the thing. But she's
But
gonna keep him because he's LeBron. That's the thing. She knew where he was gonna go,
Yeah.
and she could handle that. So I guess. I don't know.
I
I'm
mean,
not
yeah,
sure.
that's
It
true.
shouldn't have to always be a LeBron for a woman to put effort in. That's my point. We all are average. There's a lot more average people than successful rich people.
Yep.
And we gotta, I hate to, because people seem to hate to be regular, you get what I'm saying, or be the average.
Yeah.
But we gotta understand our mindset, like, yo, my wage is this, and I'm not gonna expect my woman to fucking give me a Rolls Royce for my birthday. You get what I'm saying? Or and she better not damn sure ask me for one, because I ain't got it.
That's a fact,
Yeah.
though.
That's true.
It's
So,
true.
so going back to the original topic, we just got all over the place.
Facts.
Do y'all think it will get to a point back in Caribbean culture where marriages will start to be a thing, or do you think that, because I read a stat about, in Jamaica, 85% of the women are born, or the children are born out of wedlock, you know what I mean? And we obviously we can see what's going on in American
That's-
culture, where we have the rise of single parent household, and we see the negative impact it is having on our community. So how do you think we could get back collectively to valuing family and marriage?
I don't know. I feel like everybody just needs to find somebody that's on their same wavelength, that wants the same thing that they want. If you want somebody that's gonna buy you a Rolls Royce, don't be with the person that can't afford a Rolls Royce. Like, everybody.
Don't go after the guy with the Rolls Royce if you're not in Rolls Royce budget. I'm sorry.
Wait, what do you
tell
mean
him
by
to-
that?
If your budget is not Rolls Royce, stop looking for the nigga that's gonna get
Okay,
you a
but
Rolls
there's
Royce.
probably somebody who wants somebody to. Who probably
And you're
wants
gonna
to
be
bummy,
used. That's all.
to bummy
I'm trying to
girl.
inform you guys. I'm trying to.
Yeah, but if
help
you're
you
going
guys.
into a situation like that, you know that you're broke, you know he got money, you want him to spend the money on you, you know the situation that you're going into. You know that that's a sugar baby, sugar daddy relationship, whatever you want to call it. You know that going into it. I'm just saying the average woman does not want that. She just wants to feel comfortable and secure in her man, that when she picks up the phone and calls him like, yo, da 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 da, he gonna say, okay, I got it, click. That's what the average woman wants.
Well, she better walk into reality. That's not a solution. You can't just ask for something and it's going to happen.
But the littlest thing.
The littlest
No,
thing.
they didn't say little thing. I heard Rolls Royce.
No, she said the average woman. She's talking about
average
the
woman need to ask for average things. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
That's what I'm.
Okay.
She's
She
calling your
said,
phone to
yeah.
ask for something average.
Like what?
Mhm.
Like, let's say she just said, "Oh, I just got into an accident. Bada boom, bada boom. I need to change my tire, and it's however much a tire costs. I don't know. I don't have a car.
Well, I got you, babe. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the
AAA.
issue?
I heard
The,
Rolls
the
Royce.
issue is, I don't think as a collective y'all are speaking like that. Like, that's why.
Well, okay, so I have to think about the question, because
Right.
I like to think before I speak, right?
That's what you're doing.
I think the way we could get back to that is that we need to get back to valuing traditional values, right?
Mhm.
Everything is so, again, back to what we're seeing on social media. Everybody got money. Everybody's like, I got money. So everybody's looking for a man that could do,
They
give
lying,
them
y'all.
$100 nails, pay for their $1,000 wigs. And I speak about this all the time, and it's something that I enforce with with people who I engage with. Just because, and this applies to men and women, just because someone is financially abundant, it doesn't mean that they're not spiritually and emotionally bankrupt. So all the money in the world, they will not treat you the way you need to be treated when you have a flat tire and you on the side of the road. It doesn't matter if he has $1 million in the bank. You want somebody that's going to be there for you and who's going to show up for you. And once we start putting those traditional values back in perspective, that's when traditional families will come back.
And I think it all comes from how the person was brought up. If they were, if you grew up in a house with family, or if you grew up in a house with a single mom, or if you grew up in a house with, because not everybody.
You have to be taught how to love.
you have to be taught how to love.
You have to be taught how to love.
How,
Yeah, because
if you see your mom and dad together, I ain't know what else. It all comes from trauma. It all comes from how you grew up.
Right.
So that's the only way you will know how to pick a man, or how to, ask, or how to.
I do hear a lot of women say they're afraid of marriage because they've seen their parents' relationship as well.
It all comes from how you were brought up.
Yeah.
So you have to
Father-
heal.
father
Yeah.
figure.
So that's
So
another
you gotta
topic
heal. Yes.
that's taboo in the Black
Yes.
community,
With women.
American and Caribbean and
Yes.
African all
That's
alike.
artists.
There's a lot of deep-rooted trauma in
Yeah.
our community.
It is.
And the mental health of our communities needs to be addressed. We have to attack the problem
Facts.
at the root.
That too.
And
But I-
a lot of things are gonna trickle down and start working themselves
Yeah.
out. Nobody wants to go to therapy.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to talk about it. It's on the hush hush.
Right.
You know,
The Black
we
community doesn't wanna talk about
we want to
anything.
self-medicate and drink, and when you're having
Yeah.
problems,
Or
instead of
run.
healing your trauma that will allow you to show up
Yeah.
in a healthy fashion in a relationship, to set loving boundaries not only for yourself but with the person that you're bringing into
'Cause
your
you might
life.
push with
Because
the wrong
contrary to
person.
popular belief, showing up in a relationship is not 50-50. You have to show up 100%.
Yeah.
And you can't
Right.
do that if you're broken and
Broken,
traumatized.
Facts.
and that's true.
So everything that we talked about, we have to start addressing the community trauma. And I don't know, that's a big problem to
It
tackle.
is.
Yeah.
And then you gotta
That's
come from
a
yourself,
big,
too.
big, big, big
I
problem.
feel
fix
like
to
it's
yourself.
tackle.
hard to admit
Yeah.
when somebody hurted you or hurt you,
Hurt.
because it makes
Hurts.
you it makes you feel weak. It makes you feel like, how
Mhm.
did I let this happen, even if it was completely out of your control. So I feel like that's why sometimes it's hard for Black people to like take a step back and really have to look and self
because we're always in the defense.
and it's
Yeah.
so much trauma. It's
Mhm.
not even just the trauma of your life, it's the trauma of being Black every single
Mhm.
day. It's just
Mhm.
every time you open your phone, something new, something
Yeah.
new, something new. And it's just like your brain never gets a chance to just relax and be
Mhm.
calm and not have the anxiety in the back of it.
Yeah.
But that's why you gotta go heal.
Yeah. You
It's
gotta
important.
heal first.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that, because that sounds like a reasonable solution. Like, I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, but
Yeah,
it's
no.
something that we could all work towards collectively.
Mhm.
Again, appreciate y'all for being on the panel.